never could follow the path laid out in front of me. I did things my own way. I was the man I wanted to be. Never cared what people thought or muttered under the breath. I had my pistol by my side and I was riding with death. I walked this road alone, on the run from all I've known, running free under the gun. Life ain't easy, living on the run. Now come on. I thought I had it all till I run right into you. I give up the selfish ways, that's what a man would do. Never knew that my past was right on my trail. With a flash of 6-gun fury, I'd land myself in jail. I walked this road alone, on the run from all I've known, running free under the gun. Life ain't easy, living on the run. Come on. Living free under the gun. Life ain't easy when you're on the run. Come on.
Hey, everybody. Life ain't easy when you're on the run. Come on. Yeah, sorry. I just in one of them moods. It's crappy outside here. It's raining. Looks like poop. But I'm in a good mood. I'm a little tired. Went into work a little early last night, so taking a nap. But I feel good. Don't really want to talk about any news. Lorenzo, we got Lorenzo in the chat. What's up, buddy? Oh, we got Autopsy of a Rider. Hey, man. Nice to see you in here. We got Skinny in here. I appreciate you guys dropping by. We're just here to have fun. I'm not really going to, like I said, not going to really talk about any news. Has everybody got to see Joker yet? Originally, I didn't really want to go see it, and then I went and watched it, and I liked it. I kind of, after I saw it, I was kind of like, I don't know if I ever want to watch it again, but I'd like to watch it again, actually, and maybe, take more of it in. It's a little harsh. We've got Dave. Dave says, hello, computer. What's up? Skinny says he wants to go. He might go tomorrow. It's definitely worth seeing. I still haven't got to see Rambo. I'm gonna look and see if it's on today, and if it's on today, I might just go watch it. I like to go by myself. Must be because I'm an incel. I don't have my second. Yeah, I do. I'll go to the theater with this. No, I do carry this, but not the theater. Just wanted to pretend I was an incel for a minute. Now my video's gonna get took off YouTube. I was gonna talk about some indie comics for a second. We've got all kind of people buying indie comics out there. It's taken forever for some of these guys to get things done. It's actually taken Legends of Lone Wolf a little bit longer than I wanted, but you've got 5 different teams, and it's all people who have day jobs, so it's just kind of happening. But these books are taking longer than what we want them to go. But there's guys out there who are consistently cranking out books, getting them out, in a decent amount of time, or they're running the Indiegogo and then just shortly shipping the books. I've got a whole stack here that I wanted to look at, see if maybe some of you guys have picked these up, and if you haven't, maybe you can check them out. Also, I wanted to talk about these guys again because they're fantastic. I don't have a desk here. I'm using my laptop sitting here next to this thing. And anyways, Ashcan Comics Pub, $10 a month. Get you these awesome books. This one here, Flash Fiction. It's got artwork with stories, good stuff. A lot of different people are cranking this out. You've got a bunch of writers and a bunch of artists making these. So you'll get one of these a month, and then you'll get a small comic book. And this is a full 20, 24, 22, 26 pages, whatever. Black and white comic book. Yes, Axel. Yes. Yes, they will get this. Don't argue with me. But you'll get this. Yes, Autopsy of a Writer. Check out Ashcan Comics Pub. They're really cool guys. Go jump on board with them. There's a bunch of artists and stuff working together. But the Flash Fiction books are really good. Yeah, they are, aren't they? Axel says they're really good. So definitely check them out. I've got Hush Ronin by J. Paul Sheik. And then right here is Oath by Nate Lindley. Nate's the brain behind Ashcan. Skinny's got a story that's in this one. This is actually Skinny's story that has the artwork right here. Otis Stein. And hopefully you'll be seeing this character again soon, because it's a really good character, and Skinny needs to do some books on him, or I'm going to steal him. I'll just put created by Skinny, and that way he can post half-naked pictures of himself promoting his Frankenstein book for children. It's for the children! No. Axel wants to come in here and show you the comic books. Come here. Jump up here. Jump up here. Come on. Jump up here. Jump up here. Talk to everybody. Come on, buddy. Jump up here. Come on. He jumps, but he won't stay. Come on, jump up here. Come here. Come on. Jump up here. Jump. Come on. He'll jump every time except when he's supposed to. Jump up here. Come here. Oh, you're too big for me to be picking up. Come here. Look at everybody in there. Look, in here. Say hi, everybody. They can hear you talking, but they can't see you. I'm done now. Anyways, I want to talk about some guys who get books out in a consistent manner, whether it be they run the Indiegogo and then the book's there because the book's already ready to go, or they have several books coming out pretty quick. One guy that I want to talk about Well, actually, two guys. This book was written by Chuck Dixon, but the art was done by old Timothy Limothy, as I like to call him, Tim Lim. And this book is really cool if you like goofy things. It's kind of a joke. It's fun. It's fun whether you like Trump or not. Don't let people try to tell you it's not. And here's another one I got from Tim Lim. My Hero Academia. But the thing is, I missed the actual Indiegogo and had to get the Antarctic Press one. But the thing is, like, this book came out, and shortly thereafter, Walmart First Term Part 2 came out. And this, let's be a little salty here for a second. This isn't being salty towards old Timothy Limothy, because the dude, I might have to go turn this light off. Too much reflections. This is what a good chromium cover looks like. This is chromium. This is nice. And notice how it stays perfectly folded. And notice how on the pages on the inside there's no ridges, because this is high quality paper. This is what a high quality comic book feels like. And you know what? This didn't cost me $35. This is really nice. Look how flat it stays. This is a high quality book. And Tim and Mark Pellegrini, they crank these things out. They crank these books out. Black Ops 2, I think it is. I'm not sure. Whichever one they just finished, I got in on it. It's already a month ahead of schedule. They're printing it now. Tim also worked with Douglas Ernst on his book. It's also early. It's printing now. So if you want to keep up with somebody, keep up with Tim Lim. The dude is cranking out stuff all the time. He is, if you want to model yourself after an indie comics person, it's old Tim Lim. And if you haven't subscribed to the Bunderdome here on YouTube, go and subscribe. Hey, I want to say we got a Matthew Reese in here with us. What's up, buddy? I'm glad everybody's joining in today. We got 6 people. That's pretty good. Let's see. Some other dudes who were absolutely killing it. We've got the InZane Comics guys, old Zane there, with Elemental Balance. These books, they're on issue 4 now. I've got all 4 of them right here. I put them in this big thing. They always come with a lot of extras. Very, very, very good, affordable pricing. The books are high quality. Just, they're killing it. These indie guys are absolutely killing it. So go and check them out. These are good, fun books. We got another group of guys here. Okay, picked up too many books. My old buddy Joey Turnage. Joey and Ian, they've been cranking out these Something Real books. They've got up to issue 3 now, which I have both copies of 3. I've got the variant cover in this. But these books come out. They run the Indiegogo. You give it a little bit, and then it's there. They're high quality books. They're very affordable. I got all 3. This right here. These guys are all great. Making comics all day. That's right, Matt. That's, I'll tell you another thing. People like Reese down here, they're making comics. They've got their web comics. They're doing another comic. They're cranking stuff out all the time. You want to support indie comics, that's where this is at. If you want to support the mainstream comics, go support mainstream comics if that's what you like. But don't fall under this fake, we're saving the industry crap with overpriced $35 books that are just copies of the same thing that the big 2 are doing, except crappier. This is where it's at. Right here. These indie guys. Another dude who's absolutely killing it. This guy doesn't run Indiegogos or anything like that. He just makes books. And that is the Wolverton, Thief of Impossible Objects. I have these. This one right here signed by the whole team. This guy's all the time running sales where you can get, if you buy issue 2, issue 2, he'll give you issue 1 for free. And they put cool postcards, extras, posters. I mean, it's good stuff. This is good stuff. Skinny says down here, and he's right. I haven't got a chance to back this, and I'm kind of waiting since the dude has got so many. I want the whole series. He's on book 3 now. John De La Rosa's Flying Sparks. The dude is just cranking out comics. He's cranking out books. I don't care what you. I don't care about his politics, whether you agree or disagree or whatever, and he doesn't either. If you want to argue politics with him, he'll argue politics with you. But if you just want to talk about good comic books, the dude will talk about good comic books. And the dude is making good comic books. So go check his stuff out. I'm going to try to pick up Flying Sparks 1 through 3. And another dude, and I'm actually talking with this dude about another one of his books. And, oh yeah, that's the thing. John's not just on book 3. It's volume 3. So it's not like a 24-page comic. He's not like on the third one. He's on a third really big volume. So he's killing everybody there. This dude right here, he's a big supporter of indie comics. He's got his own comic out. I've seen some artwork from another comic he's working on. Jeremy Lott, Movie Man. This is going to be a dude to keep your eye on. All these guys have been talking about are the guys that you need to be watching if you're into indie comics. They're putting out lots of good, solid work and lots of good, solid books. That's all the comics I wanted to talk about. You know, go check all those people out. They're all great. And also, you can check out my book, Lone Wolf, because I'm great and I'm amazing. And obviously, you know that because you're here. And we've got some really great people in the chat. I'm glad to see you guys here. I wanted to talk about Nintendos for a minute. I grew up playing the NES. We were poor, but I remember one Christmas or something, one birthday, all 3 of us kids, we got a Nintendo. And we used to play Nintendo all the time. You know, we loved it. We'd rent games on Friday nights and on Saturdays and have it all weekend and take it back and all that stuff. But I had a couple NES systems. One worked, one was broken, been broken forever. I got them out last night, cleaned them up. Still having some issues because they're just old, and I don't have the special tool to take it all the way apart. So I've been trying to just clean it without taking it apart. I'm doing okay so far. I got to pick this up today. I always wanted one of these as a kid, but they were too expensive. And really, like, it's super cool. It's the NES Advantage controller, the joystick. I paid $10 for this on the Facebook Marketplace, and I've cleaned it up some with some cotton balls and some alcohol. It's still a little dirty. I like to clean stuff up. But this is way more high quality than anything, like any new controllers like Xbox or anything. It's got this metal bottom. It's heavy. The joysticks are good. The buttons are still clicky after all these years. I can't wait to play some arcade games of this. I've been playing Ninja Turtles 2 because they just released that 1-Up arcade, and I can't afford to go drop $400 on it. So I pay $10 for this and dig my Nintendo out and do it the cheap way. I was gonna go over the stack of games here. I got all my games out last night. I was cleaning them. They were full of dust, but I'll lay these 2 to the side because they're 2 of my favorites. But I figured I'd just go over them and talk about them a little bit. This one right here, John Elway's quarterback. My dad, he worked at this factory. It was actually they made Lazy Boy recliners, And apparently one time they actually made a bunch for a football team. I'm not sure if it was the Broncos or what, and they sent them. But that's pretty cool. But he worked at this factory, and dudes down there all the time bringing their Nintendo games and selling them for like $5 or whatever. You know how people are. Oh, I need $5 for gas. I'll see this game. He bought this, and we played this all the time. It's the goofiest football game ever, but I used to play all the time. I never could beat Dad. He always beat me, but I love this game, and I always have those memories of playing this with Dad. Then here, one Christmas, I got a Final Fantasy, one of my first RPG games I ever played. I love this. It's such a great game. I don't know if I recommend playing on NES. I don't know if the battery is even still good in here or not. Which, of course, you can take this thing apart if you've got the tools and put new batteries in it. But this is one I cheated and played on the emulator so I could save states and whatnot. In the chat says, Skinny says, my dad loved Tecmo Bowl. Dude, Tecmo Bowl is like a classic. Such a good game. People talking about how Lone Wolf was good. You guys crack me up. Talking about how Lone Wolf was. Autopsy of a Rider says Lone Wolf was good. Then a little ways down, Matthew Reese says false. Lone Wolf was great. And then we go on down and it says false. Autopsy of a Rider says Lone Wolf was the shizzle. You guys are really nice. I appreciate your support and everything. Tecmo Bowl. And here's one of my favorite games. Which in America it's Super Mario 2, but in Japan it was a completely different game. It was Doki Doki Panic, I think, which you can get in an adapter and play some Famicom games, but I think that was a Famicom disc game. But this game right here was always one of my favorites. This was one of the first games I ever beat. If you've never played this, you're really missing out. Let's see what else I got here. I bought this one a few years ago because I found it cheap. Goodwill, $3. Blaster Master. I actually have this on the Switch. You can get they remastered the game and added some extras to it, and added some animated scenes, some story to it, and there's a sequel. So if you got the Switch, check that out. This one's still fun to play on the NES. That really cool 8-bit music. And as a kid, I loved this TV show, and this is another one that Dad got from work, but it's these still have dust on them, even though I cleaned a lot of them. Knight Rider, and it says you drive the car from the hit TV series. This game is terrible. It's a lot of fun. You get a lot of weapons you drive, but you always ran out of gas and never beat any of the levels. I beat a few of them. When you beat it, it like the car drives up and turns, and you see it drive on the trailer or something. It was cool. We loved it. And as you're driving, you see Kit's little thing blinking down here. Probably not the greatest game in the world, but I still have some love for it. And I was playing this one last night and took a shot and posted online. But that was a Mad Magazine Spy versus Spy. And this game is a lot of fun. Apparently it came out on the Master System first, but it was ported to Nintendo. It's a lot of fun. You got to try it. Skinny's got a bail. He's going to work. See you, Skinny. Have a good day, buddy. This right here, and which is weird is I didn't, till I was older. I know Milton Bradley made a lot of like Atari, Coleco, or whatever back in the day, but they kind of stopped when Nintendo came around. But here is one that they made. They actually didn't make this. When you load the screen up, this is actually a game made by Rare. And Rare made like GoldenEye. I believe they made Donkey Kong Country and stuff like that. But this is one of the early games, and this game's a lot of fun. You just fly a jet and shoot things, and it's got levels where you're in space and you're flying. It's just really cool. This one will be fun to play with that joystick or arcade stick. I mean, joysticks are different. Then we've got this one got another arcade classic, which still gonna be hard to play with that one stick. You kind of need twin sticks for this one, but this will make it a little easier with that. Let's say Smash TV. This is a fun game, but like I said, you need twin sticks for it. And then here we got this. We got like a 4-player adapter, and this game came with it. Super Spike Volleyball, which is a lot of fun, and then World Cup. And World Cup is made by, I believe both of them probably made by the people that made the original dodgeball game. And the dodgeball game's a lot of fun too. I don't have it, but it's on Nintendo Online. So if you've got the Switch, check that out. Then here I've got a couple of classics. These were our favorite games growing up. Mega Man 2. Remember we got this on sale at Walmart. It was after the Super Nintendo came out, and they were selling these games off cheap. So we've got Mega Man 2, and then we have the world's longest yard sale. We got Ashton Jackal popping in. Hey man, nice to see you. But the world's longest yard sale comes through here, and we call it the one thing. It goes up to Highway 127. And when I was a kid, I remember we found this game for a couple bucks, Mega Man 4. We always rented 3. We rented 3 all the time. We rented 1, but we owned this one, and then we bought this one really cheap. These are 2 of my favorites. My youngest brother, Jake, these were like his all-time favorite games. He loved Mega Man. And I've beat all those games a million times, and I own the Mega Man Legacy Collection and all that crazy stuff. And then here's 2 other arcade games that were a lot of fun, had really good ports, and that's Jackal. Jackal is really cool. If you've not played it, it's an overhead shooter, and you drive around in a Jeep. You go pew, 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 pew. And you run over soldiers, and you pick up like the hostages and stuff. It's really cool. Dave says, anybody ever play Bionic Commando? I've actually never played it, even though it's supposed to be like a classic. That's one that I want to get. I've been looking for used games. Somebody not too far from here has got a huge collection of games they're selling. So I messaged them about the price, but they had Bionic Commando in that. Do you know that Bionic Commando originally was something about Hitler's Return or Hitler's Revenge? Because in the game, you see Hitler. It's got one of the most violent endings of all time in it. Hitler is the bad guy, but at the end, it shows you like shooting Hitler in the face, and his face just explodes. So there's you a little bit of knowledge. This here's another arcade port, but this is probably one of the best ports. This was on a bunch of systems, but it's great on the NES, and that is Double Dragon. Always liked the art there. Those 2 guys, one with the switchblade and one with the whip, and you see them guys kicking some hind end, as we say down here in the South. Fantastic game, made by the same people that made Battletoads, and there's actually a Battletoads and Double Dragon crossover. And yeah, it's just like you're thinking. It's just as hard as Battletoads. Ridiculously hard. Dude from work found this. I don't know if it even works. I cleaned it. I haven't got a chance to try it yet. But he found this in his shed. He moved into this new house and just found it laying in the shed. So I cleaned it up and hopefully it works. One of the hugest arcade ports and biggest classics of all time, Ghosts and Goblins. I will... Midnight Cherry TV. Did someone say Battletoads? I did, but I didn't say Robotoad. Is the new Battletoads comic out yet? anyone know. I don't know about the comic, but I saw that their toilet paper is out, and it had a real shiny cover on it. Battletoads comic paper. Or comic paper. Toilet paper. That you wipe your butt with. But, yeah, Ghosts and Goblins. I'll never beat this because I'm not that good at these kind of games. Even though I love to play them. And then, of course, I have this game. Everybody's got this game via NES. You might have a slightly different version depending on the year. Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. Played that. I played this so much I could vomit. The only thing is I can't play the light gun game anymore. Midnight TV says he prefers matte finish toilet paper, as do I. And you don't want the really thin toilet paper because you go to wipe, it won't hold all the stuff, and then it like ripples and rips. So you need thick quality paper that's soft. Yeah, Midnight Cherry says Duck Hunt with the light gun is where it's at. I love Duck Hunt, but it also had the skeet shooting game where they would throw the clays out and you pew, pew, pew. Even though I was terrible with it. I'm better with a real gun. Here's another classic. Dr. Mario. Or if your grandma was playing it, it's Dr. Mario. I don't know why old people at the time always called it Mario. Autopsy of a Rider says Duck Hunt was fun, but I wanted to shoot the dog. I always wanted to shoot the dog, especially when he laughed at me for missing the ducks. That always made me mad. It's like, shut up! Here's another one I bought not too long ago. And what's funny is it says $4.99 used on it, but I didn't pay $4.99. It says $4.98 up here. But I bought this for $2.99. This was back before everybody was collecting this stuff. But this Batman, Return of the Joker, awesome looking game. It's harder than poop, but it looks awesome. Batman looks awesome. It's got some great music. A lot of these old Sunsoft games like this and Blaster Master have the best music ever. Midnight Cherry says, I had a Sega Master System with the light gun. Different gun games, so much better. Yeah, the Master System pretty much, the light gun games on it were way better. The Master System actually was a really good system. It just didn't really catch on like the NES did here. The Genesis did a lot better here, but there's not really any light gun games on the Genesis. Which we can talk about Genesis games one day. I've got a bunch of Genesis games too. And I've got another classic. The Legend of Zelda. Legend of Zelda. But you can tell I got the cheap one. The reissue because it's not gold. But the sticker on the back's gold. So I'm not cool. I couldn't afford the gold one. I got the cheap one. I actually got that for Christmas from my grandma. That and Final Fantasy. And this here is a very cool game. And this is Gauntlet. And the cool thing about this, you see how it's a black cartridge? Now, I've learned about this. There's some really cool channels out there, like gaming history and stuff, and they talk about this. They do like little documentaries and whatnot. But this is not a licensed Nintendo game. Nintendo did not license these. That's why they don't have the gray carts. This company, Tengen, they were making arcade ports, and they would port over like Genesis games. You can find the copy of Shinobi that was on the Master System. They did a really crappy port of it and put it on NES. But yeah, so if you ever see any of these are all unlicensed Nintendo games. Even though you could buy them like at Walmart and everywhere else, they eventually shut them down. There's another copy of Gauntlet, I think, for Nintendo, but this is the good one. Believe it or not, this is way better than the other one. So let's see what the chat's saying right here. Ashton Jackal says the Zelda reissue is more rare. Well, that's cool. I actually, well, it's probably thrown away now. A few years ago, I still had the box and all that stuff. Now, these two games here are some of my all-time favorite games. These two. And there's a reason these two are two of my favorites. And it's because it's probably my favorite comic book characters of all time. And that is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And look at that artwork on the front. It's fantastic artwork. I used to have that poster up in my room when I was a kid. And see, it says Ultra on it. Back in the day, a company Nintendo would only let them publish so many games a year. So all these companies would make a smaller company, like a spin-off company, and release games. And this is one. This game is harder than poop, and I can't beat it, and it makes me mad. And I probably won't play it because when I start playing it, I'll get mad, throw it out in the yard. But this next one, I was playing it last night, and I can't wait to try out the arcade stick with it. And that is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game. Technically, it's not a sequel to the first, but they called it 2 just because there was already a Ninja Turtles game out. I've beat this game a million times. This game is a lot of fun. This is like the next best thing to getting to play the arcade, I believe. I do like Turtles in Time on the Super Nintendo, but this is where it's all started for me. I'd like to get a copy of the next one, the Manhattan Project, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3. It's a lot like this game, except you got special moves and a lot of cool. It's got some cool artwork on the front of it, but I think it probably brings high dollars these days. But I was going to show you guys, if you guys are wanting to get into retro games like that, and this is one problem I'm kind of having with my Nintendos. They're old technology. That's 30-year-old technology. The caps are going bad in them. The pin connectors are going bad. You can get people to repair them. You can get the parts online, but still they're not in HD and all this stuff. But there are systems out there that people are making that you can pick up that are super high quality. Well, some of them are high quality. You can get a cheap one if you just want one with composite plugs that plays most games. You can pick up a system for $15. The quality is okay. The controllers they're all right, but nothing beats the original NES controllers or the hardware. I'd rather play that. I'd rather play some kind of hardware than an emulation. It just plays better. And also, you can use an EverDrive. And you're like, what's an EverDrive? Well, an EverDrive is a shell. It'll kind of like say this right here. I have the EverDrive artwork, but it's a shell and it's got a card reader in it and it's got a little program programmed into it. But you can take and download all the ROMs or buy the ROMs, whatever it is, and you're right, Midnight Cherry, emulators are lame. And you can put all the ROMs, which the ROMs are the actual files from the cartridges. They're just copied off the cartridges. You can put all the ROMs onto an SD card, and the EverDrive will have a slot up here, and you just put the SD card in, put it in your Nintendo, and then you've got all the Nintendo games. It runs on original hardware. What it does is it takes, when you put the cartridge in, it loads up. You pick the ROM off the list that you want. It loads the ROM into the circuit, and then it works like a regular game from there. So every time you load the game up, you turn the cartridge on, you load up what game you want, and it runs it just like a regular cartridge. So you pay like $80, I think, for one of those. I've got a Chinese knockoff for my Genesis because I just wanted to try one before I bought the real thing. And it's fantastic. I've got every Sega Genesis game. But the cool thing about the Genesis is it will play Master System games. So you can have every Master System and every Genesis game on an SD card. You just find it loaded up, whatever. But Yeah, we're just talking about emulators being lame, Lorenzo. Real hardware is where it's at. Emulators, you're trying to emulate the actual hardware, and you get a lot of mistakes because it's trying to recreate that hardware using software. So the best way to do it is with the real stuff, I believe. But we got Dave down there in the chat. He says hashtag free Hong Kong. I agree with that. I'm actually wanting to know if you guys can point me in the right direction. I'm looking around. I know that people in Hong Kong and all the protesters are crowdfunding to raise money for doctor bills and whatnot because they're just getting beat up by cops. They're getting mistreated. They're wanting freedom. They're wanting to change the way the system works in Hong Kong. And instead of letting their voices be heard, they're being suppressed by the Chinese government. I don't like that. So hashtag free Hong Kong. We'll go back to video games for a second and talk about this again before I'm done. But yeah, Lorenzo's asking how the PlayStation Classic worked out. It's okay. If commies, I don't know. I struggle with it a little bit. I actually, after I got that, busted out my old PlayStation and bought a couple games for it and been playing it on the TV back there. But I wanted to share a couple of these systems with you. You can pick up if you're wanting a cheaper. They still cost you $40 or $50, but I know they run better than the regular systems. Because the old Nintendo systems are they're just wearing out, and you can't get them in HD. But these Retron 1 HD systems, this is $40. You can play. A lot of these won't run the EverDrive though. Is one reason why I don't really want one. I want to be able to run the EverDrive, so I don't have to bust out all my games all the time. I want to get some containers. Maybe some clear cases. One reason I like to say a Genesis game is the best because you put them in those awesome hard cases and you put them on the shelf. And I want to be able to do it with Nintendos. I might just buy some old rental cases like they used to have and put them in there and maybe print some labels. I don't know if I want to go through the trouble. But the Retron 1 HD plays most of the old cartridges in HD, plug and play, good to go. But something you guys may or may not know about, there's still people out there making homebrew games for the systems. There's a ton of Nintendo games that you can get. There's a bunch of, I know, Genesis games, Super Nintendo, Dreamcast. There's people still out there making games for all these systems. The only thing is, like with the Nintendo, they won't work right. Because the boards are made different. The technology's a little different, but the original Nintendo system will still play all of them. So if you're wanting the repros or they're actually re-releasing games that were very low print, like Metal Storms 1. There was an American version of Metal Storm that's different from the Japanese version. Well, they've re-released it with added cutscenes, and it's the Japanese version of the game. But these systems right here have a hard time playing that for some reason. But your old system will play the games because it's real hardware. And that's what you want. Now, this next system I'm going to bring up, this is a high dollar system. This is going to run you almost $200, and that is the Retro USB. Let's take a look at this thing. Now, this is the AVS from Retro USB, and it is a real system. It's not emulator. It's not got software trying to run the real system. This is a modern, complete hardware reimagining of the Nintendo. And the EverDrives will work. This one actually isn't region locked. And you see the slot there. Let's go down and see if it shows. It'll play the US games, and it'll play Famicom games. I don't know if it has a screenshot there. No, it doesn't show it. But when you pull that game out right there, you see the American game needs to go in like that. When you pull that out, there's a slot, like a top loading slot under that where that game is, and you can put Famicom games in it. So you can get all the cool Famicom games that weren't released in America. You know, the ones that don't require you to read Japanese. You know, that it's mostly gameplay. And you know, but the cool thing about this is it has save states. It's almost like a little computer. It's got its own operating system. It's HD. You know, you can play 4 controllers. It's got save states. It's got everything. And it's great because there's people using new technology to make these systems to play these really old games. And I'm thinking about picking one of these up. I was trying to find one used, and apparently used they cost more than new, which is kind of silly. But you know, it's really cool. $185. You can get wireless game pads for it and everything. Now the wireless game pad, like this one over here, that's nasty. That is ugly. That's a boomerang. I throw it at somebody. And they've got it refurbished and it's temporarily unavailable. But here's a bunch of games, like a bunch of homebrew new games you can get for $35. And I know the website looks like, you know, 1990s internet, but these systems are very nicely made. You can go on YouTube and find tons of reviews and stuff like that. So I don't know if you guys are interested in Nintendos or not. You know, I wanted to talk about it because I was excited. But I might start doing some streams if I can get my Nintendo to work consistently. Stream playing some old games. I'm thinking about just setting up the camera like over the couch where you see the back of my head and me playing. So it's almost like you're in the room. I don't know. What do you guys think? But here, let's go back to this for a second. I've streamed a little bit longer than I meant to. Let's talk about free Hong Kong. Now, those people are over there and they want freedom. They're out in the streets marching. They're singing our anthem. They're waving our flag because they want their country to be like our country. And everybody in our country is dressing up in stupid costumes and dancing in the streets and acting like degenerates over some kind of made-up weather crisis. We're all going to die. We've only got 12 years left, guys. 12 years. So why do we even care who the president is? 12 years. There's nothing you can do. There's not an amount of money you can raise that's going to fix this in 12 years. And don't go look what NASA says, because NASA says something different. I don't know if you guys are Nintendo or not. My 16-year-old. Yes! Man, I love some Nintendos. But I want to do something for Hong Kong. This is an idea. If you can help me out, reach out to me. If you follow me on Twitter at DG310, shoot me a DM. I'm trying to find a charity that gives money to the protesters who have been injured and need help paying doctor bills, or if they've been fired from their job or whatever. I want to try to raise money for some of these people. I'm going to do a Lone Wolf cover. I'm going to release Lone Wolf. I'm going to do like, you know, $3 or $4 or $5 and donate whatever doesn't come out of shipping and printing to all go to one of these charities. But the cover, I just want the cover to be a black cover in white that says Free Hong Kong. That's my idea. So if you guys can help me look for some charities, I want to try to find one that's real, that's making a difference in these people's lives, and I want to send money to them. And I want to use what little things that I have to raise money. Nobody wants to listen to my music, so maybe somebody will want to read my comic book. But it's the least I can do, you know. I'm just some old fat guy talking about Nintendos. But if we can do just a little something to help somebody else somewhere in the world, I think we ought to try it. So let me know if you know of a charity, or look into it, if you're interested in doing something like that, if you want to throw something in, help me raise some money, let's do it. Let's make a difference in the world. Like I said, it's the least we can do. Over here in this part of the world, we're ready to give up our freedoms. It's like, take away everybody's guns, don't let them do anything. The government should be in charge of everything. And those people over there having to live with that crap, and they want out of it. So, somebody help them. Our government's not going to step in because they don't want to make China mad. Excuse me for what? We've got the NBA, Blizzard, everybody else. We don't want to lose that Chinese money. It's all about money. It's not about ethics. It's not about doing what's right. It's all about money. And, the people that they're against, they don't have the money. They don't have anything. They're getting trampled on. So, that's just my thought for the day. You guys think about it. Let me know what you think. Also, we'll let you know Bears Lives Matter. I believe that we should we have the right to arm bears. Also, taxation is theft. I don't like taxes, especially when they're going to pay for stuff I don't like. I shouldn't have to pay for crap, especially when people won't work and have to pay their bills. So then you go, well, Doug, he must be a Republican. No. I don't like Republicans either. I don't like Democrats. I don't like Republicans. And I don't like most libertarians because they're just really weird liberals. I don't know what I am. I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm just one of these crazy guys that believes everything's a conspiracy. I'm going to have to get some of you on here to talk some politics sometime so we can make everybody mad. Anyways, I'm going to try to do some Nintendo streams. I'm going to try to do some Hong Kong streams. If you want in on the streams, follow me on Twitter. Send me a DM. Free thinkers of the world unite. Don't believe what they told you. Don't let anybody tell you what you can or can't do. They don't own you. Nobody owns you. You were given your life from God, and only He can tell you what to do. So go enjoy yourself. As long as you ain't hurting somebody else, I don't care what you do. But all you guys I got some great people in here. We got Cassie Blonde showed up here at the end. Cassie, you missed out, buddy. We were talking about Nintendos and freeing Hong Kong. I'm going to go ahead and get off here. It's been fun. It's been a good stream. I appreciate y'all dropping by. But it's time for me to go play some Nintendo or some Fallout 76, which is something else that makes everybody mad. I hope y'all have a fantastic day. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Where's the camera? Talk at you later. Oh, you been here, Casty? You been here? Well, you ain't been talking, so we didn't know. Well, anyways, I hope y'all have a good day. See you.